God's allowing. Yeah. What about that for a disrupted 7 days from my perspective? Last Friday's show went kablooey because the internet went out, Spectrum Internet. And it's done this a couple of times. And touch wood, it's going to be okay. But then 24 hours later, or 23 hours later, actually, it went out again. And then an hour after that, it went out while I was doing my live stream for the Patreon subscribers, the tier 2 subscribers. So apologies for that, because we were actually having a really good show and a good chat. And I'm going to figure out a way to make good on that. But yes, anyway, thank you for joining me. I am Marcus Beer in the dank hole that is my office / man cave / games room / pit of pop culture stuff. And I got a good show today. I think I've got a show that's like full of stuff. So if you're in the chat room, say hi. If you're not in the chat room, well, don't say hi because you can't. Anyway, moving swiftly on. I'm checking things like, sorry, I'm just making sure the feeds are actually going up because this is what I am. One-man band. Oh, there you go. I am live. This is good. All right. So what am I going to talk about today? Well, as I put out on the Twitter feed, I'm going to talk about the E3 Digital Showcase and the leaked plans that were leaked a couple of days ago. Or yesterday, rather. I'm going to talk about loot boxes again because there's been a study and a report out of the UK which makes the loot box thing very topical. Going to talk about Outriders. Outriders, as you know, I played the demo a couple of weeks ago when it was released. Big fan. Really enjoyed that particular demo. So, game unlocked yesterday. I was told it wasn't coming out until today. So it unlocked yesterday, downloaded, played it. I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let you know exactly what I thought about it and talk about some of the issues, of which there are more than a some. And yes, that's about the show today so far. And then we will have questions and we will chat. And hello to everybody who's in the Discord group right now. Everybody's happy, chatting. This is good. All right, so let's get started. E3 Digital Showcase. Obviously, E3 21 or E3 2021 has gone the way of E3 2020. Woo! It's been COVIDicus to a digital online only thing that's going to be exceptionally nebulous. Now, yesterday, a site called Video Game Chronicles tweeted out a story saying that it's going to be behind a paywall. E3 week will be behind a paywall for consumers. And it was a kind of, it was totally rumor packed, this particular story. And there's no way of judging the validity of it until details come out. But it did talk about a $35 or a $25 fee to access the goodies, the E3 goodies. Now, I can't really say if it's a good or a bad thing, but I can hypothesize. I can take a stab because that's what I do. I deal in stabbings, not stabbings of the. I deal in hypothesizing. I'm good at it. So, do I think that they're going to put it behind a paywall? I don't know. They've got to make money. I mean, obviously, the costs for E3 are through the floor now because, guess what? Another convention center. So there's none of that. The industry's saving an absolute fortune on hotels and paying, $8, $9, $10 million for a booth and the food, horrible food that the LA Convention Center has. And, hotels, travel, all that fun stuff. So the ESA membership costs money. So they are kind of floated, as far as I can remember, by the publishers. So I don't see why it should be behind closed doors. I do see the media having issues with it being behind closed doors because this does take... It takes away a lot of what the media does E3 week with, we went behind closed doors and we looked at game X, Y, and Z, and we can tell you exactly this. Can't show you any screens, can't show you any video. So, I mean, is it going to be much like IGN Live, GameSpot Live, the E3 coverage, the YouTube coverage that that they've done? Who knows? Who knows? I can't even remember what E3 was last year. Oh, that's right, because I was recovering from a double bypass. So yes, that was my E3 last year. Now, this is not going to impact the big boys. Xbox, Microsoft, Sony, Activision, Ubi, Bethesda, Nintendo will have their special treehouse thing, whatever they do. They did their Nintendo Direct. These things will happen, and these things will be streaming absolutely everywhere, including if I can figure out a way to do it with LiveSnark here on my 2 channels, because I am going to watch, not necessarily LiveSnark. I'm going to cheer what I think is good. I'm going to groan at what doesn't appeal to me, but I'm not going to insult it. But if somebody does something stupid, I'll be here to go through all that. Very energized today. I had a coffee this morning. Wife made me coffee. So yes, this whole thing, the ESA has come out and have said that it's going to be for free, which is, they've said that yesterday. They've no plans to pay for it, to make people pay for it. Okay, that's understandable. I would like to see exactly what they plan on doing, because it's, like I said, it's the bigger picture is, this is going to stick a bunch of stuff out there in the public domain, and it's going to cause publishers to have to rejig what they can and can't do. Is it actually going to be interesting to people because of embargoes? The publishers will already have had their big events. The publishers will have already been given the assets to various outlets like GameSpot, IGN, Games Radar, and so on and so forth. So what's going to be left? Who's going to be stuck in the E3 digital limbo? Now, it's going to be the smaller companies who cannot fight against the big boys, who then hopefully, they step away from the, they don't do anything around the time of the big releases or the big announcements, because then they can say, oh, we're doing this. So the smaller companies will have their thing, but will they get buried? Will it be better for people to put out all their information via this E3 digital showcase, or will they be negotiating their own exclusives for premium place on 1 or 2 outlets? So basically, this whole thing that was released yesterday was a whole bunch of nebulous nothing. I'm talking about it. I tweeted out about it, and I said, oh, I'm going to hold fire until the details come out. But the details, for this to be absolutely interesting and absolutely exciting, the details better be fucking spectacular. So let me know your thoughts in the chat room. Say hi. Let me know what's going on. Sundancer's in the house. David B., Mark Simpson. It's BZ. Emerson. Everybody's in the house. Thank you so much for dropping by. So good to see you. Spike is here, by the way. Hey, Buggy, come here. Yeah, Spike's in with me today because Mama went shopping. Hey, Bug. Say hi to everybody. Look. Oh, look at that. No, Mama came home, so Spike is actually hearing me. Okay, lie down, please. Wait for the barking as he hears that my wife has pulled up and is coming the back door. Okay, so yes, let me know what your thoughts are. I mean, is this, if the ESA is smart, they should be resetting E3. Next year, we should be back. We will be heading towards, hopefully, herd immunity. 60 to 70% of the population, hopefully, will be vaccinated. Obviously, the ones who aren't either have valid medical concerns and issues, and then there's the others who just don't want to take it because they're fucking morons, and they should just be locked up in their houses with low jacks on their ankles and never let out the door again. But we should be moving back into having E3 next year. And this is a time, I mean, this whole last year has been a time for E3 and the ESA to really reassess and take stock of where they stand. Is there still a place for E3 in a post-pandemic world? Or no, we're still going through a pandemic. We're not post-pandemic. In the post-pandemic world of the future, is there a place for an E3? Is there a place for an E3 when so many publishers are stepping out to do their own digital events and their own showcases? Will even the showcases continue to happen next year? I mean, obviously, we all know they've been digital last year. they'll be digital this year. Will they turn around and say, well, you know what? We spent way less money. We controlled the message. We didn't have to feed a bunch of overheated, sweaty people who are sitting in a cramped, less than air conditioned theater. We recorded everything remotely and spliced it and ran it. And it was a damn sight cheaper. So fuck you. I mean, do we get E3 moving forward? What's going to be the knock-on effect with Gamescom? What's going to happen with the PAXs after this? I mean, PAX and Comic-Con, they've already, they've said they're going to be doing digital events again this year, which is the smart thing to do because we cannot have major events this year. It's just too stupid to even contemplate. But yeah, it's moving forward. Do I think there's a place for E3? I think there is, but I think, as I said before, there is a place for E3 that is smarter. It can be a celebration of games. It can be a place where we can all work and come together as an industry. And I get to go to Michael Pachter's Wedbush Mixer because I missed that last year. It's not as much fun drinking scotch on your own. But yeah, there is a place for it, but it's got to be something that works in the new era with digital and with the post-pandemic world. And hold that thought. Spike's shared his mom's home. I'm just going to open the door and let him out. Go on then. You there? Well, there you go. The joys of being live. My dog abandoned me because his mom was home. What would I like to see with E3? Well, I'd like to see E3 more structured, more focused, less of the bullshit, razzmatazz, scale down the booths, not to levels where it was just a boring business thing, but scale them down, make it, like I said, make the first 3 days industry only, and then do 2 days that are consumer facing so people can come to LA or wherever it's going to be, enjoy it, experience it for 2 days, get some t-shirts, not have to pay the obscene amount that I think the ESA was charging in the past. But, pay something to get in and experience it and say, I was there. But then by then, all the professionals who are industry related professionals will have buggered off home and will be resting their feet in buckets of water. Because that's what we do after walking God knows how many miles in a couple of days. Let's see. So that's my thoughts. I want to see E3 back because I'm purely selfish. I like E3 and I like seeing friends and colleagues who I've known for 20 plus years. And I would like to see that again. I would like, it's easy for me to get the convention center from here. I take an Uber. Why? Because I go out afterwards and I drink, and I'm not going to drive and drink. And I get to sit down and I get to sit in air-conditioned rooms and look at games. And it's still a high point of the year for me. So, yeah. There you go. That's my thoughts. And I see people talking. Let's see. Okay. Let's see what people are talking about in the chat room. Being dragged back into Elite Dangerous in the Odyssey expansion. Oh, okay. I haven't looked at that. And I've got Elite Dangerous on here. I haven't tried the Odyssey expansion. Maybe I should. I should really bust out my flight stick and throttle. I've got them here somewhere. And I know Elite Dangerous works with VR as well. So maybe I should do that. I think it works with VR anyway. Yeah. Spike was panting because he was excited, Ray. Yes, dog content. I mean, if he could sit and chill here with me, it would be great. But he's a very excitable individual. Steve says, I think E3's had its day in its current form and needs to be rebuilt from the ground up or just shut down. Yeah, I'm with you on the rebuilt. Rebuilt, rejigged, new millennium, new decade, new century, whatever. Yes, you can release demos via streaming service, and we'll talk about demos again in a minute when we talk about Outriders. I mean, the thing with the demos is there are demos that are available for the media to play at E3, and those are not for public consumption. There are demos that are demoed to us at E3, and they are often not for public consumption either, because people can report on what they've seen. But if that stuff, then the video footage leaks out, and this is why a lot of people have this stuff on lockdown, no pun intended in this current climate, because they have that, locked away. There's no visual evidence that if major changes are had, it comes back to bite them in the ass. Or if somebody sees it and there's a glitch in there, people are like, oh, this game's going to shit up. It's going to stink. And it's also going to be, if your demo looks amazing, like Cyberpunk 2077 did at E3 2019, when I sat there and enjoyed this amazing presentation that basically told me that this was the game I've been waiting almost my entire life to play. And then you release it in the state that it was. If that video had leaked online, I think... I think there would have been a mutiny. I really do. I mean, obviously, it was bad, but yeah. Anyway, let's see. Carlos is in the house. Mark says, public shows and exhibitions have been dying for at least the last decade as an exhibitor. So I can't see COVID. Yeah. Well, this is it. I mean, again, looking, can we have exhibitions in a COVID-19 world? We can. Can we limit attendance? We can. Can we hope for herd immunity? We can. Do we have to get all the science in place first? Yes. That is the key. Public safety is paramount. Do we need to end the days of people sharing hotel rooms when it's like 8 people to one double, one twin room? Absolutely. And that's where hotels need to step up. And people say, oh, but I can't afford to go to E3. Otherwise, it's like, don't fucking go. Sorry, you can't go to somewhere like E3 and fucking and like this is one of the problems I've experienced in the past of people like, oh, there's 10 of us going to E3 and we're sharing 2 hotel rooms and I haven't showered in 3 days. It's called the Pax Effect, basically, because PAX for the longest time stank. And then E3 opened up and there was definitely a body odor smell. People were smelling because they weren't packing a huge amount of clothes because they didn't have space to store their clothes, and they were hoping for freebies. So they're wearing the same shirt 3 days running, walking around a very, very hot convention center. So yeah, that public health is going to be paramount. And look, if that's one plus that comes out of COVID, if the smell goes down, I'm all for it. Yes, a week full of free booze, according to Ray. But well, let's face it, Ray knows how to get the free booze. This guy is a magnet, a detector, if you will. He knows where the parties are. He knows where the bars are. I always like to hang out with Ray at E3. Okay. Any thoughts on the new Cyberpunk patch? Actually, no, I haven't even seen there's a new Cyberpunk patch. I'll have to have a look at that. Yeah. All right. So I think I'm caught up there. Let's talk about looty boxes. The boxes of loot, the things where I've come up before and I said I don't like them. I don't fucking like them. Still don't like them. There has been a report in the UK which has linked. I'm going to read this. Analysis revives calls for in-game rewards to be classed as betting to protect children. This was in The Guardian yesterday. Guardian, very good newspaper. Tend to lean a little bit left of center, which is what I tend to do. So, it is what it is. 40% of children who play video games, or 40% of children in general, apparently, access loot boxes, and have said, and this is basically shown it preps them for gambling further on in life. Because let's face it, I'm going to spend $3 on this particular loot box on the off chance I'm getting, a big Super Star Wars emoji, whatever, or Fortnite thingamadoodle, and I didn't get it, so I'm going to do another 3 and a 5 and a 10 and a 9. I'm going to make 20 because 20 increases my chances of winning. And then, of course, they grow out of said video game because people do go through. I mean, I stopped playing video games when I discovered going out to nightclubs and partying with my friends. I stepped away from video games for a long time, like 3 years. And then to combine the two because I got a job working in video games. Yay! That's the way to go, kids. But yeah, it then goes to, all right, well, I'm now preconditioned to try these things where, I can, if I put a $10 bill into this machine, I can possibly win 50, 100, 200, 1,000, a million, whatever. It's like, oh, here's another 10, here's another 10, here's a 20. Oh, I'll put 100 in because they give you 10 extra spins or whatever of the machine. And I know people, the video game companies are saying, no, loot boxes, not gambling. We have to do, we're doing it like this. It's just a game of chance, blah, blah, blah. If it's a game of chance, sorry, there was a fly. If there's a game of chance and it's free, you got no problem. If it's a game of chance and you're paying for it, it's fucking gambling. So it looks like the UK is going to revive the loot boxes thing. We know the EU is looking into it. They're going to, they're looking into classifying it as gambling. Once they classify it as gambling, nobody under the age of 18 will be able to buy a loot box. The problem is parents are not very good at settings on video game consoles. Parents are happy to give their kids iPads, Switches, whatever, with their credit card information preloaded and forget to set a password, and then complain when little Tommy, Jimmy, or whoever runs up a £20,000 or €20,000, $20,000 bill. And then they go, well, this is Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, Apple's fault. I didn't know how to activate stuff because we didn't read the fucking manual, because we didn't go online and try and be good parents and put parental protections in place. So unfortunately, I don't think it's going to do that much, but it would be nice to see it classified as gambling, treated as gambling, and make it a little more, make the punishments a little more standard, strong with regards to who, if a kid buys them and the parent is negligent in, in the way they've given they've given the kid access to credit card numbers or whatever, then it's the parent's responsibility. The parent needs to be held responsible for that kid's actions. Because let's face it, until you are 18, you are not a grown adult. In the eyes of the law, you're not an adult. That's it. 18 is, in the UK, 18 is you are of legal age. In the US, you can't vote. I mean, you can own a fucking gun, but you can't vote until you're 18. And I'd like to see this enforced. I would like to see more education for parents who are buying these consoles, who are not playing games with, with their kids. I do think we do have a generation of people my age who grew up playing video games and are more savvy and do understand a little bit more. But I would like to see it regulated. Loot boxes should be regulated. I mean, look, I've said this before. Do away with loot boxes. Just sell the fucking cards. We talked about the EA scandal a couple of weeks ago, where somebody at EA in Europe, or a team of people at EA in Europe, were selling basically the mega cards for up to €2,000 a pop. And that was like, wow. But that is the way it should be, not sell them for €2,000 a pop. But if you want to buy a Ronaldo card in FIFA, it's going to cost you $10. That's it. If you want to buy somebody who's not as good as Ronaldo, they're $5 or $1 or whatever. But let people know what they're buying. That's it. Sundancer. Oh yes, the Sun. Son, fucking Rupert Murdoch mag. You better, you better duck. What do you think of comparing loot boxes to trading cards such as Magic the Gathering? And that's an excellent point, because the trading card space has always been around. I mean, kids were swapping, bubblegum cards 60, 80, 90 years ago, whatever it was, with, baseball characters on them. And then we had Top Trumps, where we'd have different cards. We'd have Panini soccer stickers in the UK, where, we'd buy the stickers and we'd end up, trying to fill a book. And if we got doubles or doublers or triplers, as we used to call them, we'd swap them with our friends. That, to me, is different in the fact that it's not as easy to run up. I mean, I couldn't go and run up $100,000 or £100,000 on my parents' credit card buying a bunch of stuff like Panini soccer stickers. Just wouldn't be possible. The packs were what, 20, 30 pence, if that, which was, back in the old days of the 1980s, before most of you were born. But it's physical. you have to, you have to go into the store and buy stuff. I know, I don't know if you can get them online nowadays, but I think it's different because with regards to the video game ones, you buy them and you can buy them and you can buy them. Click, 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 click. There's no real way, with my understanding, once you get these double or triple ones, there's no real way you can trade them. I think you can trash them, recycle them, if you will, disassemble them, and I hope you would be able to. But yeah, I would just like to make it much easier. And I'm sure the Magic the Gathering cards are kind of the same thing. That, if you buy one and you have a physical pack, well, maybe that should be, the fact that you can swap them. That might be it. But it's still a form of gambling. And it still perhaps should be regulated in this day and age where we know shit can go south very easily. Hi, everybody. Let me see. Pavel says it wasn't just a click away to pull the lever again and again. Exactly. That's the big difference. It involved waiting till pocket money day and then going down to the local newsagents with my friends and buying 2 packs and a Mars bar or something, and they're sitting going. It's like, got it, need it, doubler, tripler. Do you want this one? I've got this one. Who have you got? Let's swap. That was the fun of it, the social aspect as well. And we were all, we'd all club together. We'd all try and fill our Panini books for the World Cup or the European Championships or for what was the Football League season. And it's fun. That's fun. Everybody's getting into the card thing now. So yes. Interesting topics popping up today, or interesting viewpoints. That's why I really like this chat room thing. It's funny. I'm enjoying doing the live chat with you guys more than I actually did recording on a gamer back in the day, because I'm bouncing stuff off you, and you guys are coming back with really interesting topics. So and angles. Thank you so much. All right. Yes, and Sundancer GE is old, like me. So. What's next on the schedule as we plow through? 27 minutes gone, halfway through the show. Outriders. Outriders came out yesterday. Outriders preloaded onto my PC. And let's talk about the good stuff, first of all. Obviously, like I said, the demo came out a couple of weeks ago. Played it through. Was very happy with it. That's why I pre-ordered the game, paid my own cash money, got the Hellraisers or the Hellriders expand DLC, which is cool. First thing they did that I really liked, because of the nature of the demo, playing through a section of the game, when I preloaded that game yesterday, it automatically took my demo saves and my demo info, incorporated it into the game. So I'm already starting at level 7, having played a prequel, if you will, having played a couple of missions, having got a feel for it. So when I jump back in, now I haven't played the demo in a couple of weeks. I was a little bit rusty, forgotten some of the things, got my ass kicked on my first fight, and then I remembered exactly what was going on. So love that, because the demo then, because it inspired me to go buy the game, it did its job. And then it rewarded me with not making me play through that opening segment again. It wouldn't have been a hardship to do it, but I just thought it was a really great thing. And I'd like to see more companies do that. You know me, big fan of demos. Demos are great, especially ones that are like, here's the try before you buy. I tried, I bought, success, cha-ching. So yes, absolutely seamless. Downloaded no problem. Playing obviously on PC, got it through Steam. And then I suffered my first server disconnect. I'm like, oh, okay. Day one. Did come as I was going through a side mission. I'd literally got halfway through it, picked up some loot, and I was, as I was later to find, I was like 2 kills away from just an automatic save point. But I had to go and redo it again when I logged back in. And it did the same thing again, about 10 minutes in. This time it actually got the 2 kills and was closing in on the actual loot, which automatically kicks in a save, which is, thank God for that, or I really would have been pissed because I didn't want to replay that mission 3 times. But it was offline for, all told about 90 minutes, I think. Then got back online yesterday afternoon after sort of like letting it stew and go off, and I played through for maybe 5 hours all told. No disconnection issues at all. I go to play today, can't get into game. Server's down again. So, what do we think about this? Well, day one glitches, day two in this case, are understandable. What's causing it? Well, they seem to think that it was crossplay initially. The crossplay between PC and console was fetching everything up, which is kind of worrying to me because the PC, the consoles are PCs in boxes, so they should be able to manage crossplay. My only wonder is that if the Xbox Game Pass that had the game on it day one launch put a bunch of people now trying the game for the first time into the into the system and overloaded it and pulled everything down, which means a lot of people were playing it, which is a good thing. Absolutely. Sucks for people who'd paid $59.99 like me to play the game. I'm happy to pay for my games. Happy to pay and give back a little into the industry. Now, this does raise an issue with regards to always-on connections. Now, Outriders is predominantly pitched as a multiplayer game, which means multiplayer games, they need a connection. Absolutely, can't fail, can't fault that. You have to, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, I've been playing Outriders as a single-player game. I've not teamed up with anybody. I don't want to fucking team up with anybody. I want to play with myself. I've been playing with myself ever since puberty. Naughty joke. I have been playing games alone, like, Outrider games alone, or that style, for as long as I can remember. And I am perfectly happy to do it. Every now and again, I'll jump in and have some, fun with some friends and on these games, and we'll kick off and it will all be good. But I will go back to my lone wolf tactics. Hell, I play the Old Republic, alone. I played World of Warcraft, with the exception of times grouping up with a couple of people who I knew and worked with, people like Matt Ferreri at Sierra, and then who's now at Bethesda. We would get together and we would play. And the reason we'd play is because I was here and he was physically sitting 6 feet away, and we would talk to each other over the lunch break as we were playing. It's like, oh, we'll go here, we'll go there, boom, boom, and it was fun. But I generally like to play my games alone. That's why I've got my enclosed Sanctum Sanctorum. So does Outriders need always-on connection? No, it fucking doesn't. Why? Because it's playable as a single-player game. The option to go online, and I know everybody's going to say, well, it's to stop piracy and it's to stop anti-cheat and blah, blah, blah. And then, look, there are checks and balances that can go into a system that don't require an always-on. Now, if, for example, I play offline because your server's down, and I'll talk about one of those that actually, this is an aside. If you load the game and start the game running on PC and you can't connect, there's no way to exit the game without Control-Alt-deleting it and shutting it down. That's fucking sloppy running with people can fly and whoever, and the good folks at Square Enix. That's fucking sloppy. Why is it that a game requires an internet connection and you've got connection issues? Why can't it just go bring up the menu first and then connect when it's time to go online to go and drop in and find a server if you're playing as a team? Give me the option to quit out the bloody thing. That's just sloppy and stupid because you're assuming that everybody on the planet has an internet connection that's always on and always works. No, especially not in America. America that's deregulated to the point of corporate robbery, where, as you know, I have not been able to have a decent internet connection for a week. I lost my Tuesday show because the tech was coming to look at the internet for the third time in 2 days. Touch wood, it seems to be finally working. But at least give people an option to look at their stuff, change out their things before needing that fucking always-on connection. In fact, I don't need to connect. Give me an offline option. Give me an option to go and, then if you see that when I do connect to the server, all of a sudden I have all this outlandish gear and I've got insane stats and everything, it's probably because I'm cheating. And therefore you can ding my account. But you don't need the always-on connection for a game that has a single-player option. Give us the fucking single-player option. And this goes out to Bethesda. This goes out to Ubisoft. Assassin's Creed Valhalla needs to connect to the UbiConnect servers so that you can see other people in the game. I don't want people in my game. If I want people in my game, I will talk to them, invite them in, and we will plan something. I'm getting irked that I end up killing somebody in a bad guy in Assassin's Creed. And it's like, oh, well done. You've avenged Janky Knickers 36 because they were killed by this person. Here, have some useless silver. I'm like, screw off, Janky Knickers. Get out of my game. This is my world. This is my virtual world that I paid $60 for. I don't want you in it. Now, I may be in the minority. I doubt I am because I know everybody in this chat room is exactly the same as me. You all are. Admit it. You hate other people too. But we don't need to have these always-on connections. I understand the piracy issue. Piracy, still rampant, especially on PC. There are, again, ways and means to get around it. I am not as in as I used to be with regards to working, inside the industry and with publishers, but there are ways and means. Server checks, key code checks, bing, bing, bing. Your key code doesn't match up to your account. Your account is then banned. That's the very base version to do it. That's what's always worked. Oh, I've pirated this game and now it's cost me my Steam account. I'm very upset. Well, fuck off. So yes, I don't need an always on. Outriders is a fun game that doesn't need an always on. I don't need to connect to your servers, Square Enix. Ubisoft, I don't need to connect to your servers for Far Cry or for Assassin's Creed. I really don't. In fact, I will happily support and promote companies that do business, that look after the single gamer, as opposed to going after the multiplayer teat the entire time. Not everything has to be multiplayer. Just because Epic made a game called Fortnite, and that Fortnite game is doing so well, every fucking game doesn't need to be online. Let me play my damn game on my PC, on my consoles or whatever, without connecting the internet. This is why my Xbox One is busted and useless to me now, because the internal wireless receiver in modem thing, whatever, is dead. So I can't connect to anything. So there are games sitting on there that I can't fucking play because I can't connect. It's fucking annoying. Anyway, all right, back to the chat room. So yes, let me know. And look, we will talk more about Outriders in a second. Let's go back to the chat room because I like to check in intermittently. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Tiger Liam, of course you laughed at my joke. It's funny. I'm a very funny boy. I'm a hoot, as I told my mother this morning. I didn't tell her that joke. I just said I'm a hoot. Wow, by myself. Yeah, Thanos. Look, Thanos. And I love that, Thanos. God, I wish I had that in Infinity Gauntlet. There'd be a couple of clicks going on. Yeah. I mean, the beauty of a balanced multiplayer game, or beauty of a balanced game, is that it can offer single player and multiplayer. And it can offer, and look, Outriders really works on the play balance level. I don't feel overpowered or underpowered as I'm going into each particular battle zone. And that's a great thing because I'm going by myself. And if I had to play with if you wanted to put others in there, put the fucking base AI bots, give you a sidekick to run around with and have that sidekick behave in the way that I want it to. If they, the Old Republic, KOTOR, is a multiplayer game that gives you a sidekick, and you can tell your sidekick to heal you, to do range attacks, whatever. It's not that difficult. That game is like a decade old, and if it can fucking manage it, a brand new game like Outriders can give you a fire team. Give me a fire team. Great. Still, I'm the only human on that fire team, and if I wanted to go off and do multiplayer, then you drop humans into that fire team. Great, and it's all happy, joy. Let's see. Jamesy boy. I actually think later on down the line, Outriders will live, seasons and microtransactions, hence they always... Yeah, I mean, and that's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, look, give me content for the single player. Let me enjoy that. I mean, I don't play Fallout don't want to participate in seasons. I want to go off and do my own thing. Thank you, Thanos, for the very nice words. Jamesy boy is totally right. There will be seasons. Everybody wants to monetize. Everybody wants to go to the League of Legends, Dota, Fortnite, Counter-Strike. Oh, we're going to have another season. And what's with these fucking seasons? For me, who's grown up with seasons in the weather in the UK, there are 4 seasons a year. And those 4 seasons are in the UK, spring, kind of spring, autumn, winter. Actually, fuck it. There's 3 winters and a spring. You don't really get summer in the UK. Here in California, we get summer, and that's about it. We're actually, in the middle of another heat wave here. We haven't had much rain, and we're heading into probably another drought this year. Really looking good for fire season here in Southern California. Move here if you want. Come, buy my house. I'll move somewhere else. So that's my seasons, or soccer seasons, rugby seasons, where a season runs for X amount of months, and then you take a break. I can't figure out how these fucking seasons... Season 96 is starting in Fortnite right now. I don't know what number it is. And then season 96 is now over. Now season 97 starting next week. So get your new pass and get your new loot box with season 97 decals and Thanos' underpants on your head. Thanos was just there because it was right in front of me. I really don't get it. I'm too old. Give the old gamers a break. You show me somebody my age who plays Fortnite, and I'll show you somebody who's damaged. Let's see. Tiger Liam couldn't log on to Outriders yesterday, playing on Xbox Series X. Managed to get in one slate, 2 tight. Yeah. It's frustrating. It's frustrating and irksome and pointless and so avoidable. Let me host my own fucking server. And let me play on my own server, and I'll host it, and I'll shut everything else off. And the only connection I need is to my own server, which I'm hosting. So boom, I'm off. I'm playing. I'm happy. My world. Hey, Playland. Glad to see you. Raypad. Anybody playing? What? No. I've got an Apple Arcade subscription. I've not really played. I played the Sasquatch game on Apple Arcade. Let me see. Yep. Melchior 1. Dungeon assistance. Ooh. I haven't really done a dungeon because, again, I tend to avoid the dungeons. I mean, I've done, I've not really gone beyond the post game content, if you will. Raypad. Dortmund, I've seen. All right, Raypad's now talking soccer, so we're going to pause for a second. Talk about footy. Raypad is upset because Sergio Aguero, one of the greatest players ever to play in the Premier League, is leaving Manchester City at the end of the season, and he thinks they don't have enough strikers. So they want Erling Braut Haaland, who is the Norwegian wunderkind, and Borussia Dortmund are apparently asking 180 million euros for him. I've heard 120 million euros, and his agent is now meeting with Chelsea, Man City, and Liverpool this weekend, actually. Manchester City have said that they are not going to sign a new striker, but that's Pep Guardiola, who's a lying fuck. He says one thing, and then his blood-soaked paymasters go do something else. Great coach. Not a big fan of people who work for oppressive, horrible, third world oligarchies. Yes, so Haaland, he's about 130 million, and he will come to Liverpool because we've got money. Because we just signed that big deal with the LeBron James's company, Redbird, and we've got like 100 and odd million to play with, just to play with. So yes, Haaland will sell, I don't know, Sadio Mane. So yes, sorry, football. This show has no structure. You don't come here for structure or professionalism. And that, again, is going to be on my tombstone. Dragon's Dogma had an amazing system for the play a single-player game with air control bots called pawns to help you doing your quest. Great. I'm glad to hear a lot of people like Dragon's Dogma. I didn't, but great. Alan Mizrahi, what games am I playing these days? Well, I'm trying to play Outriders. Been playing some Assassin's Creed, and really about. I mean, I tried Valheim. What else is on my system? Hang on, hold on, bear with me. I load this down. This is what's currently on my system: Valheim, a couple of Vampire the Masquerade games, Blade Runner, Dungeon Keeper 1 and 2, Destroy All Humans, Warframe, Hades, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Hitman 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Ghostbusters the video game, Control, which is just so overrated, Diablo 3, which is always fun to drop back into. I'm looking forward to Diablo 4. See, that's another one with seasons. What? The Outer Worlds, Fallout 4, Grand Theft Auto 4, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and Star Wars Squadrons. Grand Theft Auto 5, sorry, not 4. So yes, I'm playing all those games on my PC right now, just popping back and forth, but obviously the one I've been trying to play is Outriders. Let's see. You come here for the rants, do you, Bone Disturber? Okay. You've only just finished Outer Worlds and you found the main end, but I can't remember what my thoughts were. I mean, I played it through, what was it, 18 months ago? I have to go back and revisit it. I mean, it's on my machine, but I haven't revisited because I played it on Xbox One, and now that it's on PC, I'm going through it all over again. So we'll have that discussion again soon. Why is Automod flagged? I have no idea if what Automod is doing. I had to turn Automod onto full Robocop Ed 209 20 seconds to comply level, because obviously we had the spam invaders a couple of weeks ago and those people were just annoying. So as I'm doing this by myself, but the Automod might know that I am a Liverpool supporter, so anything associated with United, Manchester, will get banned for get automodded, because yeah, perhaps it just knows me better than I know myself. All right, back to Outriders. Okay, so is Outriders glitchy? Yes. Unfortunately, on the PC, and I've not obviously played the console version, so if you have played the console versions, please feel free to chip in. Outriders on the PC is glitchy, and they've acknowledged it themselves. They have an Outriders status page that I keep on checking, and there is a whole bunch of issues with regards to DX12, that they advise that you run the game in DX11, which fucking sucks. I got a big, beautiful machine. The game is janky. There's frame drops. The cuts between the cutscenes and the actual gameplay, the cutscenes just drop so abruptly. You're like, I'm following this. They're talking about this. They're talking about this. And I'm with this particular character where I've walked up to him to talk to him in one section of the camp. And then boom, all of a sudden I'm at a totally different section of the camp because the cutscene's finished. And I don't, where am I now? I turn around. The guy's not there because he's all the way back there. And then I'm supposed to go and find something. And I go to, you know, I go and see, you know, my guy who's got my tank and or my, you know, my transporter. And guess what? The transporter's missing. And the guy's like sitting like, doo-doo-doo, no chair, nothing there. I'm supposed to hit the X. Lucky I know the X button is all powerful on Outriders on the controller, because half the time the X button, it is, you know, it just shows an empty circle. So I know I have to hit the X button, thankfully, which again, it's sloppy. Now, are there game-breaking bugs apart from the always-on connection that that I have experienced in, you know, towards the end of Cyberpunk? No, not yet, which is good. But it's buggy. The game is buggy. The game is sloppy. It's disappointing because the game is fun, much like Cyberpunk is fun. This is, and somebody tweeted me this morning, and if you're in the room, I can't quite remember your name, and I don't have it up right now, so apologies, but kudos. Somebody said that it reminds them of a game they'd play on the 360 with their friends. And yes, it's not innovative gameplay at the highest order. It's not going to win Game of the Year, but it is fun. the story is really quite interesting. The graphics on the PC are really quite nice when, they're running in DX12 and I've got everything turned up. When the jankiness and it is gone, it'll be, it's not game of the year by a long shot. I mean, I haven't seen the reviews, the Metacritic reviews. If I was reviewing it, I'd maybe give it right now a 7.5 because of the technical issues, maybe going up to an 8, especially with we're seeing what DLCs that are around the corner and see what other plans they've had. But it's fun. It's fun to mow things down. The weapons work. The weapons have nice variety. The way you can mod the weapons to add effects and how the effects tap into your altered powers, where it can give you an extra run round before the timer kicks in on, say, an incinerate power. That's great. And it's fun. You see a big boss coming at you, and the big boss is a big molten fucking fire spider. And you're dancing around on this shifting tectonic, there's this shifting crust of lava in a volcano. And it's fun. Janky, because you get to this, you're beating the shit out of this spider, or it's beating the shit out of you, and you're running around, you're throwing your powers at it. And then all of a sudden, instead of it gets some of the more traditional style of gameplay, if you will, where the spider's like, oh, you've done enough damage. I'm going to step away now. I'm going to climb up this wall and look down at you while I send my baby spiders to explode near you and poison you. It has those predictable tropes. There's nothing super innovative in there. And of course, given some of the jankiness, like I said, with the cutscenes, 1 minute you're shooting a spider and then it just fades to black. And, it doesn't even stay in the game, or you're still in the game engine, and you're still in the game world, just fades to black and the spider's over there. And the first time it happened, I was like, the fuck's going on? Where'd it go? I was, oh, it's up on the wall. And thankfully, I've got a radar. The radar's good, by the way. And I see these red dots coming towards me. Like, oh, shit, fire spiders. But it's, again, sloppy and rushed. But it's fun. Environmental violence can be fun, and I'm obviously still playing the same character that I played in the demo, and I will try, once I've gone through the game, I will open up and try another character. Hopefully there's a super game plus, a new game plus, which would really be fun because I can crank up the difficulty level and just go absolutely tits. There's a lot of great things about it in there that are fun as hell. Unfortunately, as per so many big games now, let down by jankiness, by sloppiness, by not really looking at some of the stuff, the common sense stuff, if you will. And this is often a problem. I mean, when you're working for a publisher or you're working for a developer and you're working, day in, day out with this game, you don't notice the little things that can make a difference because you're conditioned to it. You're right there. And just even going back to that, game's offline, you can't get in, here's the exit button. I mean, it's basic housekeeping. It's turning around and saying, all right, we know that there might be some issues with this, so we're going to do this and we're going to make it easy and less frustrating for you as an experience. On top of that, we're not going to add more annoyance on top of your annoyance. And then the cutscenes, it's like, all right, let's put a fade in there. Oh, if we have to cut out to a cinematic for, when we go talk to somebody, let's not do it in a, really like black, boom, gone. Let's give it a fade. Let's give it a zoom. Let's give it a little bit of artistic flow. If we're talking to somebody and we have a conversation with them, and then can we not automatically step away after one line of the conversation? So we have to go back, press X again, and go through the whole rigmarole to get to the next thing we wanted to explore on the conversation chain. I mean, come on. Let's have people looking at these games and wondering what's going to, what's the little bit of minutia that will make the overall impression better. We're not talking about bad things here. We're not talking about things that are going to, interfere with the director's artistic vision. We're talking about common sense courtesy that can actually give people a better experience and make them want to play your game longer and make them want to buy your DLC and buy your fucking season passes and whatever else you've got planned. The game is what it is with regards to shooting. It is what it is to the storyline. Like I said, very enjoyable. Voice acting, characters, quite enjoyable. Let down again by a little jankiness in the engine. Hopefully they'll fix that. It just makes me sad, especially when we've talked about issues in the past with regards to the bugs that are being shipped in games nowadays. And I know getting a game out in a pandemic is not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing at the best of times, let alone when everybody is now fucking separated by, 30, 40, 50 miles and everybody's doing their own thing, working from home, and there's none of that flow that you normally get when you're working in one big space together. But come on. Get it right. Get the basics right before you get it out the door. I paid $60 for Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and this one. None of those games are bug-free. They are enjoyable, despite the bugs, which is a very promising sign. Each of them have issues that could easily be rectified with some common sense. And I understand common sense goes out the window when you're a developer and you've got a big publisher saying, all right, well, we're going to refuse to pay you if you don't get this done on this date. We're like, oh, shit, we're going to go out of business. That's where things start to go tits up. And the publishers, you need to turn around and give people a break too. If it's an external dev team or if it's your own internal team, be a bit more flexible. And this is where we as fans also have to be a bit more flexible. Sending death threats to publishers and developers because a game is running late, as we saw in Cyberpunk, is not acceptable. All that's going to do is increase the level of buggy, broken shit we are getting day one, because people are like, shit, let's get it out. People are going to send us death threats. Well, guess what? You put it out and it's buggy and broken and people are going to send you death threats anyway. So how about we, as fans, and I've said this before, we catch our friends, colleagues, peers, whatever, people we know posting threats, being those toxic gamers, posting on forums. I mean, that's why I'm glad I'm keeping my Discord really small right now, because the minute I open it up bigger, there's going to be some plum joining who's going to be all assy and militant in not the good way. We need to police people better. If we see these threats online, we report them, we flag them, because we need to be nicer to each other. Let's critique. Absolutely. But let's not be total fucking tools. Whew. There you go. All right. Okay, I think that's basically everything I want to say on Outriders. Obviously, I'll update you in a little while. It's fun. It is fun when you can connect. Give it a break. Maybe not try and play for a little while, or don't buy it yet, or download it on Game Pass or whatever. But I think it's fun. I mean, I would enjoy it a lot more if those other things are done, and I'm hoping they're going to fix them. All right, back to the chat room. All right. Don't play Loop Hero. I'm guessing Loop Hero is another roguelike game. Hades has changed my opinion on roguelike games, but not to the degree where I'm going to line up and play them over and over. Deathloop, I'm going to give that a try, see how that goes, but we'll see how it goes. Erebus Jones, you're not playing Season 23 just of Diablo 3? No, I just get in, play every now and again. No seasons for me. I'm looking forward to Diablo 4. I really am. Thanos asks, have your past health issues changed anything regarding how annoyed I get? I mean, look, here's the thing. I get wound up about stuff, but it's given me a little bit more perspective. I mean, for a start, I mean, this whole thing means that I can get a little bit wound up and not worry about having another heart attack and going, boom. That's what a double bypass does to you. My health issues were nothing to do with me getting wound up. Obviously, they were with me eating crap, smoking, being unfit. And, I don't smoke anymore. I've cut down on the crap and I do exercise a little. Unfortunately, I'm not been able to lose the COVID-20. But I think the biggest thing is perspective. I get wound up about other things now. I get wound up about the bigger issues. The last 4 years in America, there was a lot to get people wound up about. When it comes to video games, I will become passionate about stuff. I will get annoyed when people and companies do egregious shit. But I would never devolve to the level I would hope of some people. And yeah, it is what it is. I'm here. But thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. Much appreciated. Erebus says, I've seen no glitches that bad on the Xbox. It's a bit of a shame they not got the PC version. Yeah, again, and I can't understand. I still can't understand this because I know I'm oversimplifying, but we're not talking about rocket science here. We're talking about if I was going to run a video game dev team, a video game studio, and I wanted to make my ideal game, I would say we make it to the highest possible specs on a PC. That's the glorious, wonderful version. And then we switch off. We make everything scalable. And we switch off things to put it on the console. You don't build low and then try and tack shit on. You build high with scalability because PC is still what they develop on. And then they switch to the dev kits for Xbox and PlayStation, which are still PCs. They're just PCs with lower fucking specs. My PC, more powerful than an Xbox One X, whatever it is, and definitely more powerful than the PS5. And that's the thing. Make your aspirations high and then dial it back. If you make things in there, like, you scale the graphics, you scale what needs to be loaded in, what preloaded is preloaded in, the size, etc., etc. You can do it, but you have to make sure that your foundations are strong. And that basically stops the bugs, in my very layperson's opinion. Very layperson. I've worked with dev teams. I'm probably engineers right out there watching this now saying, fuck all beer, you're an idiot, which is probably true. But if you're developing on a PC, the PC version should be the AAA gorgeosity wonderful version, and the console version should be lower versions of that, dumbed down, if you will. Not that I'm saying consoles are dumbed down. I mean, I love my consoles, but I'm just saying, if you're developing on a PC should fucking work. I'm sorry to hear you had the health issues, Thanos. I hope you're doing well. Speaking of game of the year, which is yours? Oh, come on, dude. It's Bone Disturbed, and I'm assuming you're a dude. If not, a person. Come on, dude. Come on, person. It's fucking March. It's fucking April. I don't have a game of the year. Ask me again in December. Especially because my game of the year for last year, that was Cyberpunk. But it was a game of the year with caveat. The caveat being it's broken and they need to fix the fucking thing. Let me see. I do like Cyberpunk. It's enjoyable, but I've had the benefit of playing it on a PC. Really good PC. Let me see. Everybody's found the emote of me, the emoji of me that I stuck on Twitch. Everybody's having fun. Let's see. Falcon and the Winter Soldier today or Tuesday. I actually just watched it before coming in. I'm on I just watched episode 3. Enjoying it. It's obviously a totally different animal to WandaVision. It does feel like a logical progression, moving on from where they were in Civil War and Winter Soldier, the big movies. It feels like a return to that style of movie of Marvel Universe after the blip, after Thanos, after the craziness, after the click, and Endgame. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. A good sign for me with these shows is if I can't wait for the next episode, and it finished on a good cliffhanger. Today's episode, we saw a lot more Zemo and some other things. And I like the way they're actually using Zemo. I'm not going to spoil it for people, but yeah, enjoyable. Enjoyable is what it is. I'm still looking forward to the big Marvel movies. I'm looking forward to Black Widow. I'm looking forward to Eternals. I'm looking forward to Doctor Strange, and obviously the other series of Loki. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. Enjoy it. Let me know your opinions. All right. Mark Simpson, listen to this rant about sloppy game design makes me think your analysis of Frontier developments and their Elite Dangerous projects like War and Peace of video games, but with face plants. Okay. Not sure what that means. I haven't really... Have I analyzed it? Did I? Yes, I did that. I did that a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? I talked about Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky in comparison with that Star Citizen game. I'm going to try Invincible, Ray. I see Invincible's Raypad is recommending Invincible. That's become on Amazon Prime Video. What's your opinion about the beat-em-up games, the new ones specifically, Streets of Rage 4? I did play Streets of Rage 4. It was on Xbox PC Games Pass thing. And I played it and I had some fun. And it felt like Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It felt like, it had all the same issues that irked me about the original games. I mean, it's a fun, silly beat 'em up. It still has the same issues with regards to you needing to be pixel perfect to pick up things to hit people with, and it's too easy to lose your weapon, and it's that flat 2D. And that's the idea, obviously, is that people wanted to recreate that original feel. And I can understand from a nostalgia perspective why people want to do that. But at the end of the day, nostalgia isn't all it's cracked up to be. I mean, there are games that I'm very nostalgic about that I've played since, and I'm like, damn, these things are practically unplayable now. And there are some that are timeless, like, stand the test of time because they're perhaps more on the simple side. But ones like Streets of Rage, Mega Man's another one. I mean, just, anything where diagonals are always tricky. But just because you want to be faithful to an original game, if you're in a franchise, doesn't mean you can't make improvements. Make it a little better. Being beholden to nostalgia just because you feel that that's the only way to do it, that just holds back game design, and that holds back gameplay. Streets of Rage 4 by now, I've got no problem with the graphics. The Sega Mega Drive-esque, bright, blocky, great, fun. It could be so much more. I'm not talking about turning it into some fucking pseudo 3D Gears of War, beat 'em, punch 'em. Keep the graphics, keep the style. Tweak the gameplay a little, make it a little easier, make it not easier with regards to bad guys, make it more friendly. Sorry about that. Little congested again. Nexus 6 Batty. We've got a replicant in the house. Feels like the PS5 needs more work from the developers in order to run good compared to the Xbox Series X. Sony might have a PS3 all over again when it comes to third party being the worst version that is. Okay. I don't have a PS5, so I can't judge. I hope to get one this summer. And I'm going to hold back. I thought the PS4 was great. I thought the PS3 started off horribly because Sony just didn't support it properly, made it so difficult for especially Western developers to do stuff, and they had the 7 cells thing. But towards the end, the PlayStation 3 software was above and beyond. It was kicking the tail end of the Xbox 360 all over the shop. When PS3 sang and the software was great, it was genre defining, in my opinion. Happy Easter, Nexus. Happy Easter, everybody, if you celebrate that. Obviously, I don't have any Easter eggs this year because I didn't order any chocolate Easter eggs, which is a British tradition. We like our big chocolate Easter eggs, and had some last year, brought them back from the UK on our trip, but not this year. But I did go to britishcornershop.co.uk, and I've got a food delivery arriving today that includes numerous British treats, including Cadbury's, the little cream eggs that don't suck, not the American versions that taste like toilet. So yes, happy Easter if you celebrated. Happy Easter. Hope you had a good Passover. Today's Good Friday, Easter Monday. It's funny, in Britain, Easter is a much bigger thing than it is here, I think, in the US. Not for religious reasons. I think we just like chocolate more. But I mean, they are holidays. It's a holiday weekend. Not so much here. Really did take some getting used to when I first moved to this country. And I was like, so Good Friday, we got the day off, right? No, work. Right. What? Monday, Easter Monday. You got Monday off, right? No, you better be in fucking work, you stupid limey Welsh person. So yes, took a bit of getting used to. But then we also, we have there are other holidays here that make it, interesting. We get our 4-day weekends on things like Thanksgiving and 4th of July. So yeah. Sundancer says, hide all the chocolate and let the kids look for it. That's why I don't have kids. All the chocolate comes to me. The Monday after Easter is the best. Markdown Cadbury's cream eggs. Britain does have the superior Cadbury products because America has Hershey's, and Hershey's tastes like earwax. All right. Oh, come on, Nexus. With regards to you, look at you. Oh, I'm living in Sweden. 5 weeks of paid vacation with all the holidays. Yeah. But you didn't have a strong COVID protocol, did you? Not you personally, but your country. But yes, it would be nice if people had holidays and time off, and America just doesn't do that. Hopefully things are changing. Hopefully people are getting a little smarter. I mean, I don't want to go into politics again today, but let's just say that some of the shit that's happened in Georgia with regards to voter suppression, and that leading to Georgia being penalized by big companies is a good thing. I feel sorry for the people of Georgia who don't want to vote for this stuff, but this is where this is where things have to be rewritten, so we can't stack so that the minority of the people, I'm talking about the right-leaners, the people who lean right, not are right, they should never win another election because they don't serve the majority of the people. They should have a voice, but they should not be able to turn counties and states into fascist dictatorships like they tried to do with America on January 6th. All right. Yeah, the MLB is moving the All-Star game out of Georgia. And it'd be interesting to see what happens with regards to Marvel, because Marvel does a lot of work in Georgia. Be interesting to see if they flex their muscles, Disney in particular, because they've done it before and Georgia's backed down over some egregious shit. So who knows? Okay, yes, everybody in the UK and Europe and everybody has better holidays than America. But hey, I've been on holiday for the last 13 months. Where am I going to go? Oh, I'm so ready for a vacation. Lockdown is just so exhausting. Luckily, I've been with somebody I really, really like. We haven't killed each other. We've had some ding-dong arguments, but yeah. Anyway, could be worse. All right, I'm going to wrap it up because I've been going for an hour and 13. My wife is home. I need to make sure everybody's happy. I am going to drop on the Discord after this. So I'm going to bear with me. I'm going to go, obviously, if you are watching on Twitch, you can follow me. YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and then I'm going to leave this one up there, which I should have done earlier. And I'll talk about this again without going all Home Shopping Network or QVC. The Patreon is up. I have 4 tiers. Tier 1 is $3 a month. $3 a month gets you access to the Discord, and it just supports what I do. And it will allow me to do things like upgrade the Restream, the Restream subscription and Discord subscription and other sorts of things. And, pay for the internet and power and stuff like that. And it's $3, allows me to upgrade stuff. Tier 2 is $6, and you get a couple of live streams a month. And again, access to Discord. Tier 3, everything that came before, including a mug, You also get a mug of me, and you get a live Zoom style conversation where we get to sit and chat for half an hour, 45 minutes or so. These things tend to run longer, but anyway, that also kicks in. And then the tier 4 one's just crazy. It's a shit ton of merch. Woo! For us that I just put as a shits and giggles. But yes, if you can subscribe and, even maybe, get to even just tier 1, I'd be incredibly grateful. Obviously, in a pandemic, money is tight for everybody. I appreciate that. Tis what it is. If you can subscribe and you can toss $3 a month my way, I'd be eternally grateful. If not, c'est la vie. That's it for this week. That's it for the internet-plagued week. I'll be back on Tuesday. Touch wood. Internet seems quite strong. I don't think I've had any issues, any dropouts. Like I said, follow me on the Twitter, on the Twitch. Toss me a sub on YouTube. And if it comes down to doing a sub on Twitch or support me on the Patreon's cheaper at the base level, and I see more of the money, to be totally honest with you. Thank you all. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you've had a good week. I hope you've been nice and safe. I hope I've entertained you somewhat. Let me know your thoughts on Twitter or in the comment sections of the various outlets, if you will, and I will check and talk to you. If you have any things you want to talk about, let me know. If you have a sub, you'll be joining me in the Discord for the after show session where we will chat for a few minutes. Until next Tuesday, be safe, have a happy Easter or whatever you celebrate. Eat lots of chocolate, eat a ham, whatever it is you're going to do. Be cool, and thank you again.